Okay, let's get the show on the road here. What's happening, traders? Welcome to our live trading session. It's Manuel from Live Free Effects, and today we are in the charts. Happy New Year, right? This is our first official live session of the new year, and I'm excited. 2026. Hopefully, you're coming in with the same level of enthusiasm, right? As you should, as you should. What the year has to offer is entirely up to you, entirely up to your goals, entirely up to the things that you're willing to do, the sacrifices you're willing to make to get to where you want to be. And as you know, I'm cheering for you. We're coming into the market today. It is Tuesday, right? So Tuesday is a little bit more of an optimal day to be in the market, but one major thing is to come in with no expectation. Focus on following your game plan, focus on following your rules. That is pretty much the best way to judge yourself, not by outcome. So, as we take a look at the market today, there's a few things to touch on. There's no major news coming out today. I think we have NFP later this week. We have some unemployment claims coming out, I believe, on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. But as of right now, we don't have anything major. Unemployment change, unemployment rate, and NFP coming out on Friday. So in terms of today, we are news free. But as you know, globally, there is a lot of tension. There is a lot going on, which we will talk about in our later session. But let's dive into the technical breakdown, technical analysis for today. So taking a look right now on the daily time frame here, one of the major aspects with gold is gold right now making all-time highs, right? So we have our all-time high, which is currently right here at 45.52, right? So this is the all-time high that was established in 2025, December 26th, day after Christmas, right? So we've seen a lot of action with gold, and the reality is we're likely going to keep seeing some more action and some more, fundamental a driving force to push gold higher. Guys, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If you can see everything on my end, just give me a thumbs up. Let's see here. Okay, all good, Amber. Happy New Year. Good morning. Okay, awesome. So right now with gold, right, from the higher time frame perspective, gold is making higher highs, right? Hot buyers are currently in control. That's what the higher time frame is for. Figuring out who is in control of the market that you were trading. And gold, we've been buying gold for quite some time now, all of December. And the reason for that is gold is a safe haven. So whenever there is chaos with the dollar, gold is going to go up. And if you were paying attention to the news, you know that there is a little bit more chaos and there's a little bit more reason for you to be investing in gold. Whether it's, of course, we're here day trading gold, but even buying ETFs, like anything you can get your hands on with gold, just, buy for now, right? It's still good. We haven't seen any sort of, maybe we'll see retracements later on, but I think that we still have some higher numbers to hit with gold. So from a technical standpoint right now, we can see it's very clear gold is making higher highs and higher lows. On the daily time frame, we have this high here that price took out. And then so far, we have the market pulling back right here. So our major point of impact is going to be this high right here and this low. These are going to be 2 points that we want to pay attention to. If buyers want to continue to target the high, we're likely going to see the market continuing its move to the upside, right? And if sellers want to come in, they're going to be targeting the low. Going over to the 4-hour time frame here, we can see the little details a little bit more. On the 4-hour time frame, we have strong bearish momentum here with bearish market structure, with price making low lows and lower highs, right? And over here we have the market coming in and buyers making higher highs and higher lows, right? So there's been a change in the overall market structure. And right here we have the high that was taken out. So it was a little bit of an equal high. And now we're seeing the market pretty much trade into, I would call this an area of interest, right? But as we go over to the hourly time frame, we can get a bit more detail as we take a look right here. So this right here was yesterday's opportunity. So if you were in the market yesterday, this was a clean accumulation and distribution play. For those of you who weren't, I believe I posted a buy trade that I took. I didn't exactly post the trade, just the outcome because I was out and about. But yeah, this was it. So accumulation and distribution to the upside. We got the retest during the New York session kill zone, and this made a pretty solid opportunity if you wanted to take gold to the upside. So right now, the most important aspect to this is being able to target or being able to identify where price is going to be reaching for, especially as we scale down to a lower time frame. So right now we have this level right here. Let's zoom out right here. Okay. So we got this level right here, right? So this is the hourly time frame here, this high, and we have this low, right? So this was the last low that was formed. Price currently is making high highs, high lows, high highs, right? So if sellers fully want to take out, the low and change the overall structure, they're going to be taking out this low, and then once they succeed with this low, you want to turn your focus over to this level, right? But if buyers keep continuing with this momentum, which in my opinion, I would love to see, given the higher time frame confluence, the higher time frame being bullish, and then the fundamental aspect of gold is that there is a lot of bullish sentiment right now. Going over to the 15-minute time frame here. On the 15-minute time frame, we're seeing a little bit of a struggle here. On the 15-minute time frame, something looks quite interesting. But if you spot it before I mention it, you can put it on the chat. But right here on the 15-minute time frame, we have the London high, which is right here. So right here, we're going to map this out. London high. Okay, so this is our London high. And then this can also classify as our London low as well. But ultimately, this is also an accumulation range, right, that we do have here, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a good chance that we can see, that bearish momentum fade, that bearish momentum come into the market and this bullish momentum fade. So this is a classic, A and D setup to the downside. Now, we're just coming into the market. So the first 20 minutes of our trading is not focused on execution. It's focused more on just being patient. But even if we want to be a buyer, it's still an important aspect of our job to get all the possible outcome, right? And making sure that you're not missing any details and give sellers their credit, because you don't want to be selling you don't want to be buying in a seller's market. So one thing right now, a major red flag, for me, in order to be a buyer today, is simply this accumulation zone that we have on the 15-minute time frame. If we go over to the 5-minute time frame, we can see things a bit more clearly. You can see that price, from the Asian session, spent a lot of time accumulating at this level, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we had a beautiful clean break to the downside, right? And then we've seen price retest about half of this accumulation. So this is about, let's just say, 70% retracement into the accumulation zone. So this is a very this is a great opportunity for sellers to take price to the downside. The problem here is you have the lower time frame giving you a sell signal when the higher time frame is bullish, right? And this is where a lot of traders struggle, and you might be forced to either ditch the higher time frame and then stick to the lower time frame. Sometimes whatever decision you make can be rewarding, right? So right now, if I say, okay, let's be a seller, after we've just identified fundamentally gold is going up, right? So the highest probability trades that we can take in terms of the high time frame, in terms of global tension, everything that's happening right now, is to be a buyer, right? But as we scale down to the lower time frame, we can see that there is still a bit more of that bearish tension that is, ongoing right now, um, and yeah, they sellers may want to come in for today. George, good morning. So my focus for today is going to be, being patient, watching, and seeing what's happening. But right now, we do have sellers, in the forefront, and they could possibly be targeting, you know, they could be targeting this low, right? So this would be sellers' liquidity right here, which is also going to be the London low. So yeah, today, for me, I want to watch. I want to observe. I'm going to be scaling over to the 1 minute time frame shortly. But in the meantime, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching for now. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you guys are doing. Right. Let me know how your day has been. How your the start of January has been for you. If you guys are coming in excited, if you're feeling that passion, or if you're feeling that you don't know if you can make it. If this year is your year, I hope this year, I hope it is your year, and it feels like it's your year, right? Because that's really important to build momentum. But yeah, we're also streaming here on YouTube as well. So shout out to you guys on YouTube. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, if that breakdown was clean and clear, let me know. My main priority today is going to be a buyer, right? That's going to be the most important thing, focusing on buys. If we are able to break above this range, especially with this clean accumulation and distribution that we have to the downside, that's going to be a very, very good buy opportunity for gold. So for me personally, that's what I'm going to be waiting for. If sellers do end up dominating today, that's fine. I will probably sit on the sidelines myself and just watch. Yesterday I focused on buying, and but a good chunk of the New York session was dominated. I think the first half up until 8:30, 8:40, give or take, sellers dominated. And then later on, we had buyers come in. So maybe we'll see the same thing happening today. Who knows? But as of right now, I think, yeah, it's in our best interest to just be a little bit patient here. Watch, observe. What I would love to see is at least a huge push to the downside where sellers actually make an attempt to test this low, and then buyers, push back up again to show that, hey, there's no continuation to the downside. But while we're right here in this area, this is a decision zone, right? I wouldn't place a buy right here unless you are more aggressive, right? Today you want to be aggressive, and maybe it'll work out. But personally, for me, I would probably just wait to see if sellers is going to make an attempt to drive price lower, because they did spend a lot of time accumulating at this zone. Going over to the 1 minute time frame here, just to get a little bit of perspective, we can kind of see the same thing here. Even on the 1 minute time frame, we do have a little bit of this minor accumulation here that can also drive price a bit, to the downside as well. So to me personally, this is going to be, where I pause and I wait. So coming into the market for you, your job, stick to your game plan, stick to your trading rules, whatever it is, right? Focus on good risk management. That is the best thing that you can do. Risk management is what keeps you in the game long term. And your trading plan is what allows you to feel good about yourself and feel good about your overall trading, win or lose, because that's what you can follow every single day, right? And judge yourself and judge your performance based on. So if you don't have a game plan going into 2026, it is very, very crucial that you create one the first week of the year. I'm not big on New Year's resolution, because I believe that most people don't follow through with it, but there are a few who do. And I don't believe in waiting for everybody to, be motivated for you to be motivated as well. So, but I do believe that the best time to plant a tree is always today. So if you don't have something, if there's something that you're trying to do and you want to work towards, the best time to do that is always now. So if you don't have a game plan or a business plan, as I like to call it, Be sure to create one this week, and it's going to do you many, many good. This is it, guys. So let's see what happens today. It's currently 8:40, 7:48. All right, let's see what happened. I've been trading 2 years. Only can tell you much help for you. You don't get into trading until it starts working. Okay, there you go. Happy New Year. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, okay, guys. Let's see what happens today. But yes, the goal is to focus on, just waiting, right, and letting the market guide us. And if price makes the first move, then we are going to act. That's why we come into the market during this time, just so we can let price set up a little bit. But with NFP coming out this week, there's a lot of excitement. But there is a lot of excitement in general with Venezuela, right? What are your thoughts? What are you guys thinking? With that. But with I was pretty. I I read about it that there was a possibility that Venezuela would be like the president would get captured, but of course, like most people, you think that wouldn't happen. So there's a lot of there's a lot of reasons, but definitely I think the large majority of people understand that it's not because of drugs. It's not because partly, right, but it mainly has to do with the petrodollar. Mainly has to do with the fact that Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserve, right? So it still it's that's the main thing, right? That's the main thing. So um, yeah, yeah. So the dollar is it has been going down. Has been going down. Some people say U.S. dollar, like U.S. they're in debt. They don't have any money. Uh, sure, absolutely, right. But Russia is also a huge investor, right, in terms of just with Venezuela and the oil. So um, yeah, the U.S. they're positioning themselves strategically. They apply pressure without direct military conflict. They're controlling. They're having a huge economic leverage instead of just having like boots on the ground, right? So short term, you know, uh, it's going to have some impact in other countries, right? But there's long term, we don't know what's going to happen. This some people it's like it could be the start of World War III. But personally, for me, it, I hope not. I hope not. I hope not because I don't see how good, and hopefully nobody is hoping that that's the outcome. So yeah, but if with the U.S. having control of Venezuela, right? If there's tension in the Middle East, if tension keeps rising with Israel and Palestine, that becomes a strategic move, right? If oil supply anywhere else in the world is disrupted, now they have a little bit of a backup, right? So and inflation becomes a political issue, like just yeah. So it's a good move, but it does break international laws of a president going into another country, right, and then capturing another president. So it's regardless of how it's spent, regardless of whether there is drug related, there is a warrant. I believe the U.S. put out a what is this? Was it? I can't. Is it in 2020? Maybe an arrest warrant. I don't even know if that's for the president of Venezuela. Um, but yeah, regardless of all that, like it's still not it's still not possible, right? It goes against the international laws and just a nation's sovereignty. So we'll see what happens, right? If chaos is going to unfold, right? China and Russia, they're going to be playing on the same side, but this does also affect them as well, right? As especially Russia, but it could be a move to cut out China's oil. There's a lot of things going on, but my advice, if for those people who are looking to um, make money off of this, is to buy gold. Right, that's the main thing. Gold is going to go up. Gold is going to keep going up, and yeah, and if anything escalates, it's going to go up even more. So yeah, I don't think it will have the impact on the dollar just yet, per se. I don't think so. So, good morning, Ralph. Good morning. Okay. All right. All right. So right now we are just looking for. We're kind of waiting for a buy opportunity here on gold and seeing what happens. Right. I think with what we've talked about from a technical standpoint here, we are in an accumulation range that could push price lower. So right now, there is a higher probability that we could see sellers dominate than buyers dominate. So we need to wait for premium price, and premium price is essentially the market making its move to the downside, making a little bit of that low, push price down, and then we start to see a little bit of that push back up if we do get that. But right now, this is the London high, and technically, until the London high is breached, it's going to be very hard for buyers to come in. We go live on Tuesdays on YouTube, right? So for those of you asking, Tuesdays on YouTube, we go live. Over the holidays, didn't really do anything. Was just doing stuff with the community on Tuesdays, but now we'll be live on Tuesdays. And then in the community, we do Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then I think we have a webinar, weekly webinar, which is a Q&A session on Fridays. So that's usually it. So alternatively, if we get price break above this high, this could also give us a little bit of leverage to potentially target the London high. So right now, with the way the market is looking, it's kind of creating a little bit of a high high and high low. Let's test the volatility in the market right now. So from here to here is about 60 pips. So for those of you who don't want to trade the 1 minute time frame, uh, and consider the 1 minute time frame noise, that's completely fine, right? But in a market like gold, or in a market that is extremely volatile, the 1 minute time frame is going to be a time frame where you can manage your risk a little bit better, unless you have a large amount of capital or you're willing to do a larger stop loss. So if you want to set a little bit of a larger stop loss, then you can probably trade the 15-minute time frame, the 30-minute time frame, the hourly time frame. But for me, I like to keep 30 to 40 pip, right? And if one candle, this candle right now is probably so far has been, this one's not bad actually. So from here, let's take a look at this candle right here. So this candle, it's not bad today. It's markets in a range, so it's about 30, right? So there's enough going on here. But overall, right, what we're seeing here is we're seeing a pretty decent enough push. This is about 70 pip worth of movement, right, on the 1 minute time frame, and that happened in like 15 minutes. Yesterday we saw 100 pip worth of movement in 3 minutes, right? Without the news, without any sort of like fundamental influence or anything. So there's definitely enough volume right now in the market. And for me personally, I would love to take advantage of that. So right now, with what we're seeing here, it's a big question as to whether the market is going to be making a move to the downside. We have this accumulation zone right here on the hourly time frame. So this could be a good buy zone right here. It might be worth the risk, and that's just something for me to keep in mind. If sellers do end up dominating right here, great. But what I might be willing to do here is if we see a clean break above this high, because what is this is telling us right now is that sellers took out this low right here. They did continue to respect this accumulation zone, and then the market structure has now shifted, right? So of course, what I would love to see is a continuation to the downside. Let sellers actually do their thing, and buyers come in a little bit more like stronger. But if we do break above this high and fail to continue to the downside, that is going to give buyers at least an additional 50 to 60 pip, maybe possibly even more, enough momentum to target the London high, which is currently 90 pips away, right? So about 93 pip away. So definitely want to, if you are going to execute a buy trade before, with a break here, you certainly want to take something, before price takes out the London high, because sometimes the London high kind of acts as a major resistance point. So for me, I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be waiting. But I definitely think that if we are able to break above here, there's a good chance that we can get the bare minimum. So for me, our first execution, let's just say, in terms of planning here. Okay, so we have this right here. So about 35, we can say, with an execution just slightly above this level, if we get a nice clean candlestick close, 40-ish, pips to the upside here, maybe place it at 40 pip and see if the market is going to be willing to give us, like 30, 35 pips, at least first execution, first take profit, right? And then boom, right? And then if the market actually does run, great. If it doesn't, then, it doesn't. But this is essentially what I'm thinking in terms of first execution. So right now, this is more of a little bit of I would say, an aggressive approach, taking a buy trade within the zone. A conservative approach today would be to wait for the London high to be broken completely, letting the market tell you, hey, we're done, right? Like, we're done with sells. The only thing is we would have to sit 100 pips plus, in order for that move to actually happen. So if we wait for the London high to be taken out, we would be waiting for price to move 90 pips without us being in the game. So for me, that's not something that that's not something that let's see, give me 1 second, guys. Did I mess up my stream on YouTube? All right. Hey, community guys, can you guys still see me okay? All right, YouTube, am I still streaming on YouTube? Or did my stream go out? Okay. Stream's all good. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so now we're getting into the execution time. We're looking to see what the market wants to do now. It is 8:02, so something is going to happen at some point in time. That sounds like something is going to happen at some point in time. Of course, something is going to happen at some point in time, but the key thing is like coming in 30 minutes early, just getting a feel for price, letting the market do its thing, right? And just watching, getting comfortable watching. The more comfortable you can, we're watching the market. It gives you a hunter's mentality, where you're watching and you're seeing, okay, you're seeing what price is doing right now. Okay, sellers are now coming in. Boom. Okay, sellers based on this should continue moving lower, right? So they 100%. But if buyers now come in here, what does that say? right? Sellers were not really, like, they weren't as strong. So if now we get a strong push to the upside and buys are able to close here and maybe up here, that gives you more validation, right? To take price to the upside because sellers already had a huge momentum push to the downside. So for me here, what I'm going to be doing, let's take a look here at gold. Um, okay, here. Okay, okay. So let's see. Okay, streams off. Okay. What happened to my stream? All right. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, you guys can see me okay? Okay. I think I'm just frozen on the interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, my YouTube side is frozen. There you go. So, can you guys see me on stream? Okay. 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 So it looks frozen on my end, but if you guys can see me okay, then that's fine. We're not gonna worry about it. I'm not too sure what happened there. Um, okay. Okay. But let's see here. You guys can see video's frozen. Okay, but you can hear me all right. Mm, can hear. Okay. Okay, that's crazy. Might have to